Upgrades.
Hey, what's going on there, everybody? This is Sammy Leggett here representing TeamJVS, here to give you guys another movie review. This is straight from the director, Gabriela Cowperthwaite. I almost got that wrong, I apologize. I.S.S. I.S.S. stands for the International Space Station. So basically, this movie only has about 6 to 7 actors in it. It's got Ariana, DeBose, Costa, Messina, Pilou, if you've seen like Game of Thrones, and a slew of 2 others in Masha, and John Gallagher Jr. Now, Ariana's character is Kira. Kira is a doctor. She is her first time getting into space for one, but then 2, like, she's got a mission. She's trying to go and use her lab rats to hopefully harness and maintain certain harsh conditions and radioactive, like how to be able to kind of counter that in a closed environment and hopefully create like a cure to be able to help resolve some of that. And everything seems really cool. Like, she's getting introduced for the rest of the team. And, you know, she's really ecstatic, but I mean, the first night's always the worst because how do you sleep in space? Like, you can't tell what's night and day. And so she's dealing with a lot of anxiety. And they look up and they see looks like on Earth, there's a lot of explosions going on. And so they have no idea what's happening. Truth of the matter is they're both getting reports at the same exact time because this is the International Space Station. The Russian astronauts and the American astronauts are getting 2 conflicting things. But at the end of the day, both are saying seize control of the I.S.S. by any means necessary. That's the baseline of the movie. First off, Ariana is a powerhouse in this. She is the thing about her, I mean, she's a great actress. I mean, she won an Oscar for a reason. I mean, like, I think that with this movie, she plays such a strong character. Like, she doesn't have to be physical. Like, you can just tell she's got strong bones. Like, there are certain situations where she's interacting with certain characters where she's kind of standing her ground. She's really reserved in the way that she talks about her family and where she kind of comes from. But when the chips are on the line, like, she also very openly cares and tries to trust and uses sound judgment in how she makes calls, because everything they're doing up there is a life or death scenario. Same thing with Messina. I think he has a really strong performance in this as well, because he kind of is like the captain. He's playing the role of Gordon. Gordon has a relationship and a good rapport with the Russian astronauts. And so that's why it makes this conflict even harsher with him being in the fray with this one. Now, Pilou, I love his character in this because out of everyone in this, Alexei is the character to me that is dealing with actual true conflictions of figuring out how do we navigate this so that nobody gets hurt, and how do we navigate this to make sure that we all can work this out. Because it's a life compromising situation. You're on a space station, there's literally things happening on Earth that you have no control over. How do you conduct yourselves? One of the things I thought that really good in the script is when they first start talking, they're like, you know, we're scientists, we're civilized, we're not gonna go and engage in our animalistic instincts. All that is foreshadowing, and the way they kind of execute certain themes in the process of the story, like each character develops their own perspective on what's right, what is wrong, what is ethical, what is not, what is duty versus what is logical. And I love that about the story. Like, it's such an engaging, interesting, it feels like a thriller. It really does. Like, I think that if you go back to a movie like Gravity, like, that's a circumstantial survival situation. If you go to like Aliens, like, there's no option. Like, it's a life or death situation. Like, you got to figure out. But in this, they can choose to do nothing. But by doing that, what does that mean? What does that say about them? And I think that there's certain character interactions and how they handle those, specifically like with the characters like Christian and Kira, or like Gordon and Oriska. Like there's certain things there that I really find that they did a really great job with the scripting for it. The other thing about this is how they handle the zero G. I think it's very seamless. Like it definitely is done really well. Even with some of the shots of the space station outside of it, there are certain moments where it was like an arm of the space station kind of looked like it was a little choppy in terms of the VFX. But everything else, like as far as lighting, as far as how they handle how the crew are interacting in a zero G environment, they handle that very well. Very believable, very progressively done, because they set up like kind of what are the rules of how you be able to interact in a space station with like a situation like this. And then the worst case scenario happens. And so how they're able to function around that is very interesting. That's why Ariana's character is so strong, because she hasn't been there that long, and the way she functions and tries to navigate how to figure out certain things, who to believe, what to trust, that's what makes this such an exciting film. I actually really like this film. It ends on a very interesting note, but it also is very violent at times. There's no sex, there's no nudity. There are cursing, but there is violence. And so I think that the violence and the language maybe give this a rated R theme, but it's not like over the top or too grotesque for no reason. I think all of it works to a very interesting impact of how we handle fight or flight, literally. Like when the chips are down, like how do we really do this thing that's called life? And so I really enjoyed this movie. I give this like an 8.5 or a 9 out of 10. I actually really enjoyed it. I actually would love to see it again. I think it's one of those movies I would love to kind of watch with the group and just to kind of get people like sites like where's this gonna go, like who's gonna survive, like. And yeah, definitely go and check out I.S.S. I don't think you're gonna be disappointed. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you comment in the comment section below, like, subscribe, hit that bell button. Thank you guys for watching. Peace, people.
Falling off the top of